Welcome back to Elevation 44, where we learn how to master our energy. I'm B. For those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back, family. So today, I changed the setting a little bit. Wanted to get outside, wanted to get into nature, wanted to connect with nature. So here I am today in a different setting. I wasn't necessarily planning on filming this video, but I had my camera with me. So, this is just me in my all natural form, coming to you with some information that I think you may find helpful. So what we're diving into today, it's pretty much the Leo new moon, okay? So we have a new moon in Leo on August 18th, okay? So that is just coming up in a few days. And I haven't been doing new moon videos. I've been specifically focusing more on full moon videos, but I thought that it would be helpful to also provide some guidance during the new moon, because if you are one person who likes to follow the moon cycles, you will understand that the new moon is a great time for planting seeds. It's a great time for setting your intentions so that you can manifest in a whole host of different ways. So this is like the opportune time for us to really set those intentions and identify what we want and make that clear and putting it out there into the universe, okay? So that's why I really want to go through these new moon videos now. Hopefully this helps you find some guidance on what kind of intentions that you can set and all of that good stuff. And there are just like tons of bugs out here. I like literally douse myself in bug spray, but I still feel things like flying on me. So if you see me touching my face or moving stuff on my body, that is why, because I just don't want things landing on me. So hopefully it's not too distracting during this video. So let's just get right into this Leo new moon. And like I said, the new moon, if you are trying to line up with the moon cycles, which is more of our natural rhythm, our natural cycles of life, the new moon is the time to plant seeds, and the full moon is like the cultivation. So if you think of it in terms of gardening, okay, you would plant your seeds in the spring, okay, and then at the peak of summer, right, that's when your crops will be ready to be harvested, and that's usually that full moon energy. So I really hope that that makes sense to you in terms of what it means to have a new moon and what it means to plant seeds or set those intentions. Okay, so one thing I will also mention is that the new moon, the seeds that are planted at the time of the new moon are actually the crops that will be ready or should be in full, full form, usually at the corresponding full moon 6 months later. So every new moon that we have a full moon that corresponds with it 6 months later. So the intention set here now with this Leo full moon, you should be able to see the actual tangible crops of that at the Leo full moon, which usually happens during the Aquarius sun season. So that's around February-ish, okay? So this is something that I want you to keep in mind as you're working with the moon cycles, as you're setting your intentions around the new moon, knowing that you should be able to look directly back when you get to that full moon 6 months later and see how it has transpired and see how your crops have developed and if they're ready to be harvested, okay? All right, so the Leo new moon is all about fixed energy, okay? It's that fire energy, but it's a fixed energy, okay? So the things that are planted now during this full moon are likely to be those things that are long lasting, okay? Because of that fixed energy. Now, this energy, this fixed energy, gives a focus. It gives us more of a concentration to focus on making things carry out long term, so see things through long term, right? So when we talk about fixed energy, we're talking about patience, we're talking about perseverance, we're talking about being grounded and having more discipline in seeing through our actions. These are the things that we really want to make permanent changes in our lives with, okay? So that fixed energy lends itself well to that. So this Leo new moon is going to be very beneficial if you are trying to make long-lasting changes or make things more of a permanence, okay? The downside to it is, yes, even though we are getting that air of patience, we're getting that groundedness, we're getting that stability, we're getting that focus, that long-term concentration, it also, because it's so fixed in its ways, right? It's like sees something and wants something exactly the way that it sees it, it can be inflexible, okay? So one of the things that we are going to be required to do, or to remind ourselves through this Leo new moon, is the intentions that we are setting, the things that we are focusing on. We need to really allow ourselves to become flexible as we set those intentions, and as things play out. We may have to pivot here and pivot there, and those are things that are hard to do with fixed energy, okay? So we're going to have to really be mindful of that as we set our intentions and staying flexible throughout the process, okay? So like I said, overall I would say that this energy is a great energy to set intentions on things that you want to see long term, okay, and make permanent changes, or for things that you have already started and need an extra boost or an extra push. So like, let's say you've set the intentions for something and you felt like phase 1 played out and now it needs to go that next step. This is something that you can use to push that energy or push that intention out further. So setting a phase 2 of that intention to make whatever you want on the other side happen, okay? I will also say that Leo energy, often the Leo energy portion of this, because we've been talking about the fixed energy which Leo brings, we've been talking about the new moon energy, which is about planting and setting in those intentions, but let's talk about that Leo energy, right? So the Leo energy part of it, it often speaks to things in terms of the self-expression portion, right? So this is all about our creativity, our confidence, our courage, okay? Our heart, okay? The things that we desire, our passions. It's about honoring ourselves, okay? So that's the Leo portion, that fire of like that drive, that inner drive, that confidence, that, you know what I mean? That happiness, that heart courage. So that is the energy that Leo is bringing into the mix. So these are the things that are going to lend itself well when we're setting our intentions. The themes that we're thinking about setting our intentions around, we get to incorporate this energy into that, okay? So one thing that I would say is like finding your passion is going to be the most important thing, and zeroing in on that. What are the passions? What are the heart's desires? That is going to help us really push our intentions forward by using this energy to its advantage, okay? So the thing that comes next after Leo energy is Virgo energy, right? So once we have identified our passions, that desire, that thing that we want to change, that thing that we want to heal, that thing that we want to bring in, right? The Virgo energy is the next energy up, and Virgo is all about putting the systems, putting the structure, putting the work in, getting to work and putting that work in place, or the routines or the structures or whatever you need in place to make it happen in the material, okay? So that's why it's really important to really get that passionate side, tapping into that passionate side and the courage of the Leo energy, because once we've identified that, once we have that strong, we can then take that with the Virgo energy and pass the ball when the Virgo energy comes in, which is next up, and really put the firm foundations in place, right? And the systems and the structures, and get to work to making that happen. Okay, so I just want to keep all of this in mind as you are setting your intentions and thinking about what you want to bring in. All right. One other thing that I will also mention is that if you really want to be clear or to get a better idea of the best way that you can use this energy and set intentions at this new moon in your own personal life. The thing is, we're giving general information here to the collective when we talk about just the new moon energy in general. But if you want to see specifically how it applies to you, pull up your natal chart, pull up your birth chart, and look and see what house is this new moon going to be falling in for you, okay? Is it in the first house, which is focusing on the self, right? Is it in your second house, your money, okay? Your material possessions? Is those intentions you need to set in that area? Is it in your fourth house? Is it focusing on home and family matters? Different things like that. So that's a good idea of how you can specifically use this energy to set intentions that are best for you, looking at the placement of the new moon in your own personal chart, okay? Let's talk about the transits that are going to be happening at the time of the new moon, just that's going to help influence this energy either by challenging it and creating tensions, or by boosting it up and giving us even extra energy and zhuzh, right, to get our intentions out there and set things in motion. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is that at the time of the new moon, that the sun and Mercury are also going to still be hanging out in Leo, okay? So the new moon's going to be joined by, the sun, which is in Leo. It's been in Leo for a couple weeks now, and then we just had Mercury that just moved into Leo not too long ago. So what this is going to give us in terms of extra support when it comes to expressing ourselves, okay, and expressing our individuality and our passions and the things that we desire. So this is really moving us, right, towards happiness, but it's also helping us express that, okay? And again, that Leo energy is all about that expression. So having these two other planets in Leo is just giving us that extra boost that we need to make things happen, okay? So we're moving, it's pushing us towards our passions and our happiness. So this is an extra boost that we can use to our advantage at the time of the new moon. The other thing that's going to be happening is these planets, so the sun, Mercury, and the moon, are also going to be having a harmonious aspect with Mars, which is currently hanging out in the sign of Aries, which is another fire sign. So more energy, more fire, more boosting, okay? And Aries, Mars is at home in its sign of Aries, and Mars being in Aries is just like, Mars is all about that action-oriented, like I see what I want, I'm going after it fearlessly, confidently, and I'm gonna go get it. And so this energy is also giving us more of that boost to have the courage to aggressively go after what we want, to spot it and to take action, so we don't just sit there and just, set our intention and just twiddle our thumbs. No, we're gonna actually be taking the action to go towards it fearlessly, okay? This is the beauty of Mars energy. Yes, there's downsides to Mars energy, but there's so much beauty to Mars energy if you know how to capitalize on that as well, right? So we're gonna be go-getters, going after what we want, and that is what we wanna do when we're setting intentions. We don't wanna just set it and just be like, okay, that's it, I set my intentions, I'm not doing anything. There's action that is required behind that, okay? The one challenge I would say that I saw when I was looking at the charts is that the moon is going to be squaring Uranus in Taurus, okay? So both fixed energies, Leo, the sun, the moon in Leo, and then Uranus in Taurus, or Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is also another fixed energy that really focuses more on our material possessions and the material world, okay? So more of like our finances, our material possessions, and all of that good stuff, and just kind of our values as well, okay? That's what that Taurian energy brings to the table. Now, with this tension happening, this challenge happening between the moon and Uranus or Uranus, there's going to be a need for extra stimulation. We're going to want to we're just going to want to be stimulated more, right? And the one downside to that stimulation, looking for that stimulation at this time, is that it can lend itself to distractions and us being distracted by the new, right? Instead of being focused and staying focused and getting aligned and really zeroing in on what is best for us, we might be seeing all kinds of other things out there, the new, the shiny new, right? That comes in and distracts us and takes us away from that, right? So that is something to keep in mind, that this is one of the challenges that is going to be coming up during the time of the new moon, okay? So this is also a time, like, even though the Leo, or the fixed energy of this new moon is got an air of patience to it, this particular tension is going to cause an impulsiveness. It's going to cause us to want to take quick actions and be impulsive, and it could go the other way where we're not patient, right? So we're going to really need to lean in on that fixed energy, okay, to try to really hone in on more of that patience and not make impulsive or impatient decisions during this time. Another thing that is another challenge that this will bring is quick changing moods, okay? So we can change our minds very quickly. Our moods can be, because the moon is all about our emotions, our emotional selves, okay? And then Uranus is all about those changes, those quick changes, okay? So there could just be rapidly changing moods, and so you might be feeling one way about your intention, or maybe feeling one way about things, and then the next minute you feel a little, different. So just keep in mind that this is just one of the challenges that are presented at this time, and it's not necessarily anything that is, like, I wouldn't say not real, but it's not something that you should just like take a whole lot of stock into, okay? So just knowing that this is a part of the energy and not really allowing it to control you, but kind of remaining focused on the overall thing that you're trying to bring in here, okay? Okay, so really quickly, I will just recommend 2 herbs to work with during the new moon if you want that added boost. The first one is Angelica root, and if you can't get your hands on Angelica, another thing to work with is rosemary. These are both fire or sun herbs, okay? These are herbs that are traditionally ruled by the sun. They're just great for a lot of the things that we talked about in terms of, like, us honing in on our happiness and our intentions, and really focusing on our desires and bringing that into fruition. So those are the 2 herbs that I would recommend, and they also have great protective qualities as well. And then you can work with flowers, any summer flowers. So summer flowers, if you want to use that, you want to use sunflowers, calendula. There are so many different beautiful fiery flowers that are ruled by the sun that you can use in your rituals or use to help and give you an added boost as you're setting your intentions at this time. The one crystal that I'm just going to recommend is citrine, and citrine is very closely related to the sun, so it has a lot of that sun energy. It's all about happiness and confidence and vitality, and it also brings abundance and just luck. There's just so many beautiful properties to citrine. So if you want to look that up and get more information on it, or if you already have citrine, I would definitely use this, or hold it and use it and to empower you during this time as you're setting your intentions. Okay, now let's just talk about some of the things that you can do, some rituals or some projects, ideas that you can do. The first one is helping you identify what you really want at this time. So what makes you happy? Make a list, okay? Make a list of all the things that make you happy. If you can't figure out like what intention to set, like what do I do? Like I don't know what intention to set. I don't know what to ask for. Like sometimes it's just a matter of just sitting down and starting to write down, like, let me make a list of all the things that actually bring me joy and happiness. You know what I mean? And it could be in any arena of life. It could be in your career, it could be in your personal life, family, friends, a relationship, whatever. You can just write down, like, what are the things that make me happy? What are the things about myself that make me happy? Things that I do for me that brings me joy. So that is a good exercise to use at this time to just kind of help you identify, what it is that you could possibly be asking or wanting to call into your life, okay? Or what is it that I have been doing that has been making me happy and I want to take to the next level? That's another way to look at it as well. You can also then take this a step further and create a vision board, okay? Once you've identified like the things that make you happy, if you don't have a vision board in play right now, I really, really highly recommend you do so, because vision boards are just really a visual reminder of the manifestations that you're bringing in. And when you're looking at that thing constantly, daily, like I have mine personally in my meditation space, I'm looking at it daily, and subconsciously it's just programming the things that I want, and I'm seeing things on my vision board come to life in real life, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. So utilizing a vision board, if you don't have one already, and you can do a vision board for every new moon intention that you want to set down. You know, you can do it any way you like, okay? So I would recommend that as well. And then another ritual or practice that I would recommend during this time is self-healing, right? So, you know, this is a good energy for that heart focus, okay? So healing, self-healing, and in terms of the heart issues, like, what do you feel like there's anything blocking your heart? Do you need to, you know, do some heart chakra balancing? Do you need to open your heart chakra? Are things that needing to be released? Like identifying what it is that in your heart space needs correcting and needs balancing, okay? I have an entire video that I just did on a heart chakra healing. I'm gonna link that somewhere up above and down in the description box, because you guys really need to check that out. Your heart center being open and balanced is actually the key to manifestation, and a lot of people don't even put that together, but the heart chakra is responsible for connecting your spiritual self with your physical self. So it's literally allowing you to bring the things that you manifest up here in the spiritual realm down into the physical plane. So you have to check that video out if you haven't already. I have tons of tips and ideas in that video that will help you get started as well with this, okay? So that is pretty much it that I have for you today. I hope that this gives you a little bit more clarification and guidance on the Leo new moon and some of the intentions and things that you can focus on setting at this time. I'm really excited to also utilize this energy. And if you find yourself in a space where you don't feel like you want to bring anything in, you can always do gratitude. Just say thank you, you know, make a gratitude list and just be thankful and say thanks for all of the things that you know have come into your life thus far. And so you don't always have to be in a space of asking for things, okay? So I will mention that as well. So let me know down below what you're looking forward to for the Leo new moon, and also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend, and of course, if you haven't subscribed already, you are, you know, welcome to subscribe below. I have lots of content coming your way, and if you enjoy this, you'll enjoy a lot more things that I'm putting out, okay? So I will see you in the next video. Peace.